Kevin Piland, thank you for joining us. Now, I don't usually do this on my show, but I want to talk about an experiment you can do with milk and cookies. A lot of people usually dunk them and eat them like I did one earlier before I recorded this, but you may not be able to see it, but on the top of the glass, you can see that there's a cookie on top. And if you can't, well, that's because, well, you can barely see it. I would have to drink like half of it before you could actually see what that cookie looked like. But if a restaurant were to serve something on like chocolate milk with a cookie on top, they would be able to put it on top of the glass, but you wouldn't have to eat it. It's just there for looks. See, I could put this cookie in there, and it would sit on top of the one that you possibly couldn't see. See, I pushed it into the milk because it's not going to stay. It's not going to go all the way down to the bottom. It's just not. If a restaurant were to allow Oreos to go on top of the milk, people would love it. They just would. It doesn't change the flavor of the milk. It doesn't, because milk and cookies go together. Who knew there wouldn't be a wrong way to eat it? Like I could dunk the cookie. I could dunk the cookie into the glass of milk and eat it like that. But I also know that if I leave it in there and let it sit, I can still drink it, but those two cookies will still be there. Now, I didn't do the show just to make you watch me eat. I didn't. But the reason that the cookie didn't go on the bottom of the glass is because you can see a little bit of the cookie. It's because the air from the milk is going upwards, but you also have air going down, and it's keeping the cookie afloat. It's kind of like a boat in water. If the cookie can't go inside the milk, chances are the boat won't sink. It makes you wonder why that is. Now when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about a gentleman who just recently left KTXS-TV with us. In the last several years, the Abilene TV stations have had at least one reporter that stayed on longer than the others during the time that I was in elementary, middle, and high school in Abilene, Texas. And who knew that while others came and gone, they all stayed? Two of them have left different channels at different times. Two of them have. And only one still remains. And the only one that still remains to this day is Bob Bartlett at KTAB. He's been around for about 30 years now, if I remember correctly. He's been around KTAB for so long, it's like KTAB can't do without him. In fact, when all the new people came in and left, he stayed. David Bacon stayed too, except he couldn't get on television for other reasons that even I couldn't think about. But I figured out that just because David Bacon wasn't on television did not mean he wasn't at KTAB, because he still was. And that's a fact. But now, I'm starting to wonder why even a simple change can turn into something that it should never have been in the first place. Well, And that change I'm talking about was Stanley Bowles. You see, he got laid off from KRBC. Because the people at KRBC and KTAB were no longer able to afford to have separate reporters on separate stations from back in the day, the way it used to be. In fact, the last reporter I saw on KRBC before all that was Michelle Dapper. Of course, now David Robinette, for the past few years now, has been on both KRBC and KTAB. That was because they wanted to save money while still remaining under the same roof, because that's where they are. They even saved money by having Telemundo Abilene on a sub-channel, 9-2, although now it's on 32-2 because of the technical glitch that happened. But that's not originally what I wanted to talk about. And as I mentioned earlier, Bob Bartlett is the only reporter that stayed at KTAB while others have come and gone. Because Wayne McCormick left KTXS. And when he did, he had no idea that he impacted so many people, including Greg Blanks, who was just sad, you know? It was the first time that I've ever seen her cry on live television. But she tried to keep her composure due to television and the fact that she wanted the viewers to still hear what she had to say, which was great. You see, sometimes people don't like to be around people who cry because they're harder to understand, but not her. You see, when someone feels sad about something, they have a right to be, because changes are coming. See, Downing Bowles eventually became a judge and still is today, and Wayne McCormick has officially retired. We don't yet know when Bob Bartlett will retire, but we do know one thing for certain. He's in first place. Wayne McCormick came in second, and obviously Downing Bowles is in third place. It was a reporter race that started when I was a kid back in the early 90s. I was looking for who would stay the longest at each station. They all had something to offer. The reason why I wasn't familiar with half the reporters was because they kept coming and going. And pretty soon Kimberly Sears is about to leave KTAB for you after having been there for some time. But, you know, change is good. If we can figure out a way to get everyone on board and staying for the past 10 or 20 years before they retire, that would be interesting. But the thing is, not everyone gets to see those stories. Not everyone. Some maybe died. Some may have died before that. Others have not. We'll be right back.